welcome back to Mr. Obsolete's Vintage Homesteading. Today's job is we're going to take out a distressed tree. It's also a hazardous tree. So the reason it's distressed, it's starting to tip over and it's starting to lift the roots. And the problem is that the roots are right in an area right where there's a bunch of other trees, and if it tipped over with that, it'd probably knock down some other trees and create a lot of havoc. A lot of stuff is stored under that area. So we're going to take this tree out, and what's hazardous about it is that the very top of the tree is intertwined with another tree. And so from the ground you can't see how much it is, but it could be some challenges, and we'll see how it goes. But the tools we're going to use today, these are Stihl 031, which is a 48cc saw, mid-size saw. It's got an 18-inch bar and chain on it. Use a hard hat, keep our brains from getting squashed, and some wedges to tip the tree over with. And the tree leans out at the bottom and it starts to straighten up towards the top, but it still has a bit of lean in it. It's more every day. So we're going to be using a big heavy Evansville to run the wedges in. And the other thing that I use is Mr. Obsolete's patented tree height calculator, otherwise known as a twig. And so what I do, I'll measure up 10 feet on the tree. This would be the ground level here, measure up here. And I'll move up here, and then I'll take a metal note and keep going up. And the very tops of the trees are intertwined, so I can't see exactly the exact height, but it's between 80 and 95 feet. So anyway, let's get out and get cutting. Well, we're down at the stump here. I wanted to talk briefly. If you look right down here, you can see the ground is starting to crack open, and this is starting to tip over, and it's intertwined with this tree here and this little one here. So if it lifted up, it would push this tree back, and there's some vehicles back there, it would get crushed, so that's why we took it out. And so I cut it off 3 feet up off the ground, And the butt is 15 inches. And up here, it's a foot where I cut it. So we'll talk a little bit what happens during the video. So we'll show where it comes down to begin with. You know, I'm starting to wedge it over with these, using this behind it. And I wanted to put it right out in this direction here, but I knew it could be a problem with a branch in the top of the tree there, which it did, so it actually moved it over about this direction here, probably at the top. We're talking about 6 feet off to the left. So anyway, we'll get back and we'll show you what happened. Okay, well, when we first got the tree to start dropping, it was going just perfect, and then it stopped. And the reason for it, a branch in the top of this big tree caught it, was intertwined with it, and stopped it. Even though that tree weighs quite a bit, it stopped the tree from falling. So then we had to take into consideration what we're going to do. We knew there was a big windstorm coming that night, and so probably would have just fallen over. But when I originally planned out the area to drop it, I knew that if it didn't go where I wanted it to, I had plenty of room to drop it safely. So what we did is went to the stump, and when the tree started to tip, it moved about halfway across the stump and then stopped. And so what I did is I took the wedge and my big old Evansville axe and started pounding it off, and it slid off and dropped. And when it dropped, it broke off the very top of the tree, and then it came down. So I'll show you the top of the tree. Well, here's the top. You see there's probably about 10 feet here. When I measured the tree with this broken piece, it came out to be 85 feet. So my calculator was pretty good. I just couldn't see the very top here because it was entwined with the branches of this tree here. So anyway, take a picture of the tree here and show you. I'll get you a second. Okay, well, see the trees down here. What I did, like I said, I used the big axe and the wedges to push the tree off the stump here. And it came over and dropped right here, right where my foot's at. And then it pivoted slightly out of the branch up above and turned a little bit and dropped right down where it's at there. So it was not perfect, but it was safe. That's the main thing. These trees can be real dangerous at times. Okay, well, here's the intended direction of falling, which would be off here. Like I say, it's about maybe 6 feet or so off to the left from where we wanted it. And if it hadn't been for the branch up above intertwined with the top of this, it would have come right down right where we wanted. But anyway, we had plenty of room, safe to do it. So another success story. You know, the ideal situation for that big tree would have been to take it out first, but that wasn't an option because it's long enough that it would actually go into the neighbor's yard and damage some of his stuff. And it's going to be a job for next summer or spring. But I want to get this one out before it took those other trees out with it and damaged some vehicles and whatnot. So anyway, wasn't ideal, but we did it safely and it's done. Well, there we go, another tree and another day. So we've got some more tree videos coming up pretty soon, so stay tuned. Remember, vintage is good, or best. I'll see you in another video real soon.